Good morning, children. This is lecture 7 of chapter Solutions. In this lecture, we will talk about abnormal molecular mass and Van't Hoff factor, degree of association and dissociation. Now, let us talk about abnormal molecular mass. Colligative property does not depend upon the chemical nature of the non-volatile solute, but it depends only upon the number of solute particle present in the solution. You all know about it. The colligative property is only depending upon the number of the solute particle present in the solution. So if delta is a particular colligative property, it may be vapor pressure, it may be boiling point, it may be melting point, it may be osmotic pressure. These all are the colligative property. And if the colligative property can be represented by delta, then you can say that delta is proportional to number of solute particles. That means colligative property is depending upon the number of solute particles. In some solution, number of particles remains constant after dissolution. That means no association or dissociation takes place in some of the solution. In such cases, the colligative property and effective molecular mass do not change. Am I clear? So example of such type of solution, sugar. 1 mole of sugar remains 1 mole of sugar after dissolution. There is no change. But some of the solute particle, when you are making the solution of it, dissolution of that some of the solute particle, it is undergoing association or dissociation property that we have already discussed in lecture 1 or lecture 2. Okay, so if after dissolution, association or dissociation is taking place, naturally it is affecting on the molecular mass, changing the molecular mass. Number of molecules, solute particles is changing. Okay, so the colligative property is also changing. That is known as abnormal molecular mass. See, in some solution, number of particles become less after dissolution. That means association is taking place. If the association takes place, so the colligative property decreases and effective molecular mass increases. Okay. For example, benzoic acid. When two molecules of benzoic acid dissolve in water, it forms a dimer. Effective molecular mass gets doubled and the number of solute particle gets halved. Okay? In some solution, number of solute particle increases after dissolution. That means the dissociation is taking place. So in that case, what will happen? Colligative property will increase and the effective molecular mass will decrease. Okay. For example, KCl. If you will dissolve KCl in water, it will give you K plus and Cl minus ion. That means dissociation is taking place. For 100% dissociation, 1 mole of KCl will dissociate into 1 mole of K plus and 1 mole of Cl minus. Thus, there will be 2 moles of solute particles. So, you have understood that because of the association or dissociation, the number of solute particle increases or decreases, and because of that molecular mass is also changing, and this is affecting the colligative properties, and that is known as abnormal molecular mass. So what we are getting, molecular mass of solute M dash is inversely proportional to the colligative property. Why it is so? Because you know that colligative property is directly proportional to the number of particles, and number of particles is inversely proportional to the molecular mass of the solute. So it is coming that molecular mass of the solute is inversely proportional to the colligative property. Now, how to find out the molecular mass of the solute? From the formula of lowering of vapor pressure, this is the formula. From elevation of boiling point, if you want to find out the molecular mass, this formula we can use. Now, from where these formulas are coming, the derivation will be done in the next slide. You will find that. Depression in freezing point, the molecular mass of the solute you can get by this formula. And the osmotic pressure is already, you have seen this formula, that is m dash is equals to WRT by pi V. With this formula, you can find out the molecular mass of the solute. Okay, the derivation, I'm just showing you. So here the derivation of the formula for the vapor pressure. The formula for the vapor pressure is, we know that it is P naught minus P by P naught is equals to W by M dash is into capital M by capital W. From there, if we'll do the cross multiplication, we will get M dash and this total P naught minus P by P naught, which is equals to Wm by capital W. From there, M dash is equals to Wm divided by W into P naught minus P by P naught. So this formula we got in the last slide. This is the derivation for calculating the molecular mass of the solute from the elevation of boiling point. For that, let us suppose that weight of the solute is W gram and weight of the solvent is capital W. And one more thing, mass of the solute, let me just write it here. Mass of solute is equals to M dash. So molality M is equals to number of moles of solute divided by mass of the solvent in kg. So M can be written as small w by M dash divided by capital W by 1000, because I have to make it in kg. We have taken weight of the solvent in gram. So it is W by 1000. Okay, it is written here, M dash is the molecular weight of the solute and W is the weight of the solute. Okay, putting the value of M is equals to W by M dash divided by capital W by 1000 in this formula, delta TB is equals to KB into M. Just replace M with this value. So we are getting delta TB is equals to KB into W by M dash by capital W by 1000. From there, if you'll do the calculation, you will get M dash is equals to 1000 into KB into W divided by delta TB into W. Okay, so with this formula, you can calculate the mass of the solute, molecular mass of the solute from elevation of boiling point. Similarly, you can find out the mass of the solute from depression of freezing point. And osmotic pressure already we have shown you. Okay, so please do the calculation for calculating the molecular mass of the solute from the depression of freezing point. Okay. So what are the conclusions can be drawn? If the number of solute particle increases, the colligative property will also increase and the molecular mass decreases. Okay. And if the number of solute particle decreases, just the reverse, colligative property decreases and the molecular mass increases. When the experimentally observed molecular mass is different from what is expected from its chemical formula, The observed molecular mass is referred to as abnormal molecular mass. Children, it is very important to know when the experimentally observed molecular mass is different from what is expected from its chemical formula. If we are getting like that, the observed molecular mass is referred to as abnormal molecular mass. Am I clear, children? So, Van 't Hoff introduced a factor I to express the association or dissociation of a solute in the solution. Okay, so what is that I? I is equals to observed. Observed means experimental. The colligative property, the value of colligative property, the colligative property that we are getting after the experimentation divided by normal or the calculated, what it should be. Okay, value of the colligative property, that means expected colligative property. So I is the factor which is equals to observed or experimental value of a colligative property divided by the normal or the calculated value of the colligative property. So I is written as delta observed divided by delta calculated. Delta means colligative property. Okay, where delta observed and delta calculated respectively represent the observed and calculated value of the colligative properties. Am I clear? So in case of the lowering of vapor pressure, I is equals to delta P observed by delta P calculated. In case of the elevation of boiling point, I is equals to delta TB observed by delta TB calculated. In case of the depression in freezing point, I is equals to delta TF observed by delta TF calculated. And in case of the osmotic pressure, I is equals to pi observed by pi calculated. Okay, you have to know all these things, children. Since colligative property is proportional to the number of particles of solute, delta observed, that means observed colligative property, is proportional to the number of particles actually present in the solution. That means after the experiment, how many number of particles are present in the solution, observed colligative property will be depend on that. And delta calculated, that means calculated colligative property is proportional to the number of particles that should be ideally present in solution. Okay, so from there we can write I, that is Van 't Hoff factor, is equal to delta observed by delta calculated. Okay, which is also equals to number of particles actually present divided by number of particles should be ideally present. I hope it is clear to you. Okay, so if we want to write it in terms of, if you want to compare it with the in terms of the molecular mass of the solute, then delta observed is inversely proportional to the observed molecular mass of the solute, because we know that molecular mass of the solute is inversely proportional to the colligative property. So observed colligative property is inversely proportional to the molecular mass, observed molecular mass of the solute, and delta calculated, that is the calculated colligative property, is inversely proportional to the calculated molecular mass of the solute. Okay, it is written here also m dash observed is the observed molecular mass and m dash calculated is the calculated or ideal molecular mass. Okay, so we can say that I is equals to delta observed by delta calculated, and that is inversely proportional. So this is equals to m dash calculated by m dash observed, which is also equals to number of particles actually present by number of particles should be ideally present. Okay, that we are getting from here. Am I clear, children? Now you have to know this. The last line, you have to know this because this is important. Sometimes it is required for doing the numerical. So these are some factors when I is equals to 1. Van 't Hoff factor is equals to 1. When it will be? When solute undergoes neither association nor dissociation. Okay. If I is greater than 1, when solute undergo dissociation. Okay. Number of particles will be more. And if I is less than 1, when solute undergoes association. Okay. So colligative property without Van 't Hoff factor, what should be the formula? And with Van 't Hoff factor I, what should be the formula is given here in this table. Relative lowering of vapor pressure without Van 't Hoff factor, this is the formula. P0 minus P by P0 is equal to chi solute. With Van 't Hoff factor, it is written like this. P0 minus P by P0 is equals to I into chi solute. One I term is coming here. Elevation of boiling point, delta TB is equals to KB into M. With the Van 't Hoff factor, one I will come. Delta TB is equals to I into KB into M. Okay. Depression in freezing point, delta TF is equal to KF into M. With Van 't Hoff factor, it is delta TF is equals to I into KF into M. And osmotic pressure, pi V is equals to nRT. That with the Van 't Hoff factor, the formula will become pi V is equals to I into nRT. Okay. If the solute is undergoing association or dissociation, if there is an observed colligative property is different from the calculated colligative property, then Van 't Hoff factor should be taken into consideration. Next is isotonic solution, which is also called isoosmotic solution. When two solutions are separated by a semi-permeable membrane and no osmosis occurs, implying they have same osmotic pressure, these solutions are called isotonic or isoosmotic solutions. Again, I am repeating, when two solutions, they are separated by a semi-permeable membrane, but no osmosis is taking place. That means both the solutions are having the same osmotic pressure. Then those solutions are called isotonic or isoosmotic solutions. Let solution 1 comprises N1 number of solute particles dissolved in V1 liters. Solution 2 comprises N2 number of solute particles dissolved in V2 liters. Solution 1 and solution 2 are isotonic, that means having the same osmotic pressure pi. So I can write pi V1 is equals to N1 RT and pi V2 is equals to N2 RT. If you divide this two, then you are getting V1 by V2 is equals to N1 by N2, because pi will get cancelled, RT will get cancelled. Since N by V is the molar concentration, number of particles divided by the volume of the solvent. Okay, so N by V is the molar concentration. Isotonic solution poses same molar concentration. Am I clear, children? Hypertonic and hypotonic solution. Solution possessing higher osmotic pressure as compared to some other solution is called hypertonic, and solution possessing lower osmotic pressure as compared to some other solution is called hypotonic. Degree of association. Degree of association is defined as the fraction of total number of moles of solute which undergoes association in the solution. Degree of association is denoted by alpha, which is equals to number of moles of solute undergone association divided by total number of moles originally taken. Okay, suppose n molecules of A associate to form an aggregate of An, and the following equilibrium is established. So here you can see Na is giving you An. That means n molecules of A associate to form an aggregate of An. Suppose 1 mole of A is taken. 1 mole of A. Okay, that means n molecules of A combine together to give you 1 mole of A. Okay, so suppose 1 mole of A is taken and alpha is the degree of association, then at equilibrium, number of moles of A left undissociated will be 1 minus alpha. Because 1 mole of A we have taken and alpha is the degree of association. So how many number of moles unassociated? That will be 1 minus alpha. And number of moles of An is equals to alpha by N. So total number of moles present in the solution now in that case 1 minus alpha is the undissociated, okay, plus alpha by N. These are the total number of moles present in solution. We know that I is equals to m dash calculated by m dash observed is equal to number of particles in the solution divided by total number of particles originally present. Now, as we know that I is equals to delta observed by delta calculated, which is equals to m dash calculated by m dash observed, which is also equals to number of particles present in solution divided by normal number of particles. From there, we can write this I is equals to m dash calculated by m dash observed is equals to 1 minus alpha plus alpha by n, because 1 minus alpha plus alpha by n is the number of particles that is present in the solution, and divided by normal number of particles, that is 1. So we are getting this 1 minus alpha plus alpha by n is equals to 1. Then I is equals to 1 minus alpha plus alpha by n, because the denominator is having 1. Here the denominator is having 1. From there, if I'll calculate, then we are getting alpha minus alpha by n is equals to 1 minus I. Okay, now 1 minus I is equals to 1 minus I can be written as m dash observed minus m dash calculated by m dash observed. From where we are getting that? We are getting it. This is 1 minus I, and I is equals to m dash calculated by m dash observed. So I can write it 1 minus m dash calculated by m dash observed. This can be m dash observed is the LCM. It will be m dash observed minus m dash calculated. So I am getting this. m dash observed minus m dash calculated by m dash observed is equals to alpha n minus 1 divided by n. Okay, so from there alpha is equals to, we are getting this formula. M dash observed minus m dash calculated by m dash observed into n by n minus 1. Like degree of association, degree of dissociation also can be calculated. Degree of dissociation is defined as the fraction of total number of moles of solute which undergoes dissociation in the solution. So degree of dissociation alpha is equals to number of moles of solute undergone dissociation divided by total number of molecules originally taken. Suppose an electrolytic substance A undergoes dissociation in solution to give a total of N ions and establishes the following equilibrium. See, A is giving you N1B plus N2C and so on, where N1 and N2, N1 plus N2 is equals to N. And B, C, etc. are the ionic species formed on account of dissociation of A. Okay, let there be 1 mole A and alpha is the degree of dissociation at equilibrium. So what is the number of moles of A left undissociated? It is 1 minus alpha. And number of moles of ions present, it will be N alpha. This is dissociation. So total number of moles present in the solution will be 1 minus alpha plus N alpha. I is equals to number of particles in solution divided by total number of particles originally present. So originally present we have taken 1. So in the denominator it will be 1 and the numerator it will be how many number of particles present in the solution. So it will be 1 minus alpha plus N alpha. So we have got the formula. I is equals to 1 minus alpha plus N alpha divided by 1. So as in the denominator 1 is there, so I can write it I is equals to 1 minus alpha plus N alpha. From there, I minus 1 is equals to N alpha minus alpha. I can write it. So from there, if I'll calculate alpha will be equal to I minus 1 by N minus 1. Okay, because I can take from N alpha minus alpha, I can take alpha common, so it will be N minus 1. So from there, I am getting alpha is equal to 1 minus 1 divided by N minus 1. Since I is equals to M dash calculated by M dash observed, so alpha is equals to M dash calculated by M dash observed minus 1. Just put the value of I. Just replace the value of I with M dash calculated by M dash observed. So we are getting this by N minus 1. From there, if we will calculate, then we are getting alpha is equals to M dash calculate minus M dash observed divided by M dash observed N minus 1. Okay, so from the formula, this formula, we can calculate the degree of dissociation. Okay, so this you have to remember, children. So with this, lecture 7 ends here, and we have completed all the colligative properties of the solution. In the next lecture, we shall solve certain numericals based on various colligative properties. So all the colligative properties given in all these 7 lectures, please go through them properly. Take help of the book also for your better understanding.